Right, so I bought this MR2 probably 6 years ago. Is when you first started, Ian, I think.
Yeah.
So I bought it 6 years ago. It's had 5 engines, and I'm going to talk to you about the 5 different engines I've had in it, and the ones not to do and what not to mess around with. So the first engine I had in this was the 4AG that it comes with. Messed around with it for ages, ended up having a head gasket problem, did the head gasket, and then I wanted more power, but this was bought as a family investment. This is like a family run business. It was a family investment. I was going to keep it standard and not mess around with it at all. Well, obviously it's not standard anymore. So the 4AG, we did the head gasket on it, and then I bought the inlet adapter for the motorcycle carburetors, so we put them on there. It went a little bit better, but it was never right. We never figured out why until we took it apart. The bottom pulley, it moves on the rubber, so the timing was never right when you did the ignition timing. But we only figured that out after. So I saw a guy online, and he's done, he did a 7AG build, which is the bottom end off of a 70, what was it, a 70?
Corolla 1.8 7 AFE.
7A, no, was it? Yeah, 7 AFE engine. So you use the bottom end off of that with the rods out of the 7 AFE with the 4AG pistons, and you create like a high compression 1.8 engine. Well, there was a guy I was looking at online, and he had built an AE86 Corolla. He had it turbocharged, but he took the turbocharger off of it and had it naturally aspirated because he said the turbo was too much on track.
So yeah, this thing used to be turbocharged.
Yeah. Okay.
Had a HKS GT2540 on it. Made 270 real kilowatts, but it was kind of silly for what I was using it for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go circuit racing in this thing.
Yeah.
And the tyres would just get super squirmy after a couple of laps just because there's too much power going through them.
Looking back at the video, I should never have watched that video. I'm pretty sure the setup on his car was wrong because I had nothing but disappointment with that 7AGE. So you get the 7AGE, I bought the high compression pistons for 4AG, I bought the rods, I had to deck the block, so the camshafts I put in it as well. So I put a mild cam in it, then I put a slightly bigger cam in it. It was all to do with the power, so it just never made decent power. When we got to the high lift cam, to get the extra power out of it, I think we made 190 horsepower, but the 190 horsepower was, I think the power band on that, it was like 6,000 RPM to 9,000 RPM. So for me, to take it on the track, it was awful. The way you got the power band, and when you're coming out the corner, you're just waiting for the power all the time, and there's never instant power. So I've done the 7AG, we did Castle Combe in the UK as a track day, and Ian ended up being faster than me, and he had a Fiesta ST150, and that was it. Bought another engine, got bored of that. So I sold all the bits for the 7AGE, and then I bought a crate, well, it wasn't a crate, I suppose, on a pallet. It was the naturally aspirated 3SGE.
Running.
So the 2 litre out of the Celicas, and what else?
Mark II MR2s.
Mark II MR2s, like the naturally aspirated engine. What was the power on that?
There's 180 horsepower standard.
Yeah, 180 standard, because it was an import, JDM, ECU and all that stuff. Alright, put that in. We done another track day, we did Castle Combe, and he like literally just overtook me. Overtook me in his Fiesta ST150. So come back and then just don't do the naturally aspirated. I was told by Paul at Wood Sports not to do it as well, because I phoned him about because when you because I did that engine change, you've got to change all the engine mounts and weld them all in, welded them all in, got it running sweet. It just never made, it just wasn't powerful enough for me, especially for a track day. It was just, it lets you down on the straights. Well, I suppose it's a 2 litre, the torque coming out the corner was better than the 4AG and all the rest of it, but it's just a heavier lump, it's more to drag around. So Ian was faster than me. I ended up driving to Stockport, which was, it was something like a 4.5 hour drive up there, and I did a 5.5 hour drive back because of traffic and all the rest of it. and bought this purple MR2 that I've got on my channel, and you see how rotten it is. It was completely fucked. It was fucked, absolutely fucked. So rotten. So that had the conversion of the 3S GTE, but it was only the Gen 2, still with the airflow meter and all the rest of it on it. Put it in there, brilliant, all the rest of it. I had nothing but problems with that. Head gasket went on it, took it apart, and somebody had already had that engine apart and done everything with it. It was a state, an absolute state. Someone had wire wheeled the pistons were full of carbon. So I got my money back for selling the suspension and all the rest of it off of that purple MR2. So I paid £2,000 for it, I think. I got my money back on that, and then the engine is basically sat under the bench. Nobody wants to buy it. It's in bits.
It's over there
It's
somewhere.
just scrap. I think the block's warped. The heads are knackered. It's just knackered. And then I spent £3,000 and I bought a 3S GTE Caldina engine. So if you know what a Toyota Caldina is, so that's a Gen 4 3S GTE, which is coil on plug, everything else. Amazing engine. I'm so pleased with it. I've had such fun with it on track. Yeah, and that's it basically. So if you're going to build one of these, 4AG, I'd keep the 4AG definitely. It went quite nicely and it sounded quite good on the motorcycle carbs. So the 4AG is a good engine. And if you're going to do anything else, so my biggest regret is that I didn't keep the 4AG and forge it and turbo just the 1.6. Because I've had a 1.6 4AG turbo before that we had in, so we had that in a KP60, took that out of that, and then we put it in the GT Turbo Starlet chassis, which is the EP82 chassis. We had that. No, it was an absolute animal. Absolute animal. Wish I kept it, sold it, but that's another story anyway. But yeah, turbo the 4AG. Don't turbo the blue top though, because it's got a smaller bottom end. Turbo the red top, and it's cheaper. Definitely, like 100%. But I will put a video on of the guy that said about this 7AGE and drove, yeah, just don't do the 7AGE, don't do it.